Gentlemen, first round about to kick off. It's PartyParrots and Bonk fighting for elimination, or against elimination. Enjoy it.
I just hope I don't mix up these two teams and say like Party Bonkers or something like that, because that would be bad as Angel gets the opening two so quickly here. As the rest of the squad are going to try and push in and do something about it, but Shao says no, Safe gets eliminated off the server, and it's just going to be two remaining players. Melonhead is going to be one of those, and he's just going to have to follow the raise here, potentially to his death. Him and Yassine are the last two, so this is not the start that Bonk would have wanted. And maybe PartyParrots will be a little bit happier that they're going to be defending first and foremost here on Bind. Might be able to pull out a little bit of an advantage and a little bit of a lead, so they can be more comfortable when they are attacking and work on a couple of those executes as SSK takes down Melonhead. Yassine will at least get a consolation frag here. There are a lot of members weak on the other side, but I don't think they're going to be weak enough in comparison to his 11 HP. Walks around the corner, Angel gets the third, and that is going to be a 1-0 lead for PartyParrots. Then the perfect start for them, and probably the perfect confidence booster they needed. Bonk tried to play it quickly, but they just ran into some consistent shots from the Parrots.
Yep, and on the back of, you know, an aggressive peak from Angel in the early round, that's exactly what I was touching on. It's good to see them close that one out. Pistol round always seen as one of the most important, because, you know, arguably you're going to get one, potentially two rounds on the back of that. There you see Angel putting up 3 in the pistol round, and he's actually going to keep the Ghost. He's just going to upgrade to full armor. Going to take 2,400 credits through to the next round. And we see a push through in towards Hookah. Paint Shell's going to go out. Fault Line actually catches Angel, but he's going to get back in. He does get healed, so he's already lost his armor there. Incendiary's going to block off any push through wood. And he's going to back all the way off to elbows. Our drone of Safe not spotting anything out just yet. So PartyParrots not giving too much away, but they've got 3 stacked on the site and 1 rotating through the defensive spawn now. And you can already see 4 players rotating back over towards A short. And they're going to try and push in towards A site here. See SSK got to hold the line here. Hits the first headshot. This is going to fall. Down to 4 HP though. This is a bad spot to be in.
Yassine at least picks up 1. Bonk yet again have no Sage in their composition. They do get the spike down. Artist trying to follow the Aldrone out, but he's going to mean he's spotted, but he can heal himself up because they do have a Sage on their squad, and it's him who's playing him. Angel is now going to come from the flank here. Just has a little scout around short, see if anyone's there, but everyone in lamps except the one player in showers at the moment. Thinks could have fun here, but he walks straight into the pistol shots of Bonka, and they're running out of time here. There's just going to be the 2 remaining players, and this is decent work from Bonk. They had no right to win that round, but did very well to force their way onto the site. And the Sageless composition at least does offer a more aggressive variety. Okay, you don't have the heal, so it probably means you're going to have to look to get some quicker executes. You're going to have more utility in terms of what you can offer in terms of agents as well. Like having the breach is going to be great for them, having the flash capabilities. No flash possibilities on the side of PartyParrots, and I wonder whether that will be a hindrance to them later. I mean, I certainly think flashes are huge in Valorant, and it does surprise me when we see comps without any flash ability. Now we'll see whether Bonk can do an even more impressive round. Have an even more impressive round. They've got guns to work with. There is one player who's close with the frenzy, but Dink's not able to get a dink. And now the paint shells and everything just being fired at Artist, but the orbital strike might be able to catch one. No, Yassine just being able to dodge his way out, and look at that camera work. That was sublime. Bonk have found their way onto the B site, but they don't have the spike.
We've talked about it before. This is like every ranked game I've ever played. Spike all the way back down in spawn. You can see Melonhead going to have to do the walk of shame all the way up B long. Going to send a fault line through for good measure. Pick up an ultimate orb while he's there. Then the spike hopefully going to go there. Still very cautious here. And actually, this might actually be... I don't know. Maybe they're just waiting for Bonkar to come through Hookah and clear that out. But very cautious still. They don't want to commit inside the site just yet. You can see the other 3 members of Parrots have gone back over to A's site, and again, yeah, be really, really cautious about this. I like this, not risking anything. making absolutely sure it's safe. Down to the last 12 seconds, and you can see nobody on PartyParrots is moving. So we know that the full save is coming through for those 3 members. But again, what they've actually managed to save, I don't know, because Angel invested into the Vandal, because we know he kept the Ghost for round 2, Dan. But SSK got himself classic.
Oh, look at it.
It's beautiful.
It's so beautiful. The only issue I have with the skins, and I guess is pretty much an issue that isn't really an issue, is the fact that my friends can't see the cool animations that I've purchased unless they're watching me in spectator view. You can't see them if you're the other person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's fair. You can't flex it. You can't.
I guess at the same time, for competitive integrity, those things will get a little bit.
I don't want to talk about
awkward.
it.
We're talking about the trigger of the dragon. It's its tail or its foot, and I am not hearing anything else otherwise. All right?
Okay.
Don't make me regret my purchases.
Shout out to the observers, by the way. Doing a great job today.
The picture-in-picture there, catching it at 2 angles.
I mean, in all seriousness, the observing has been really spot on, and always appreciate
serious.
anyone. Oh no, I'm not saying you weren't being serious.
I was credit where credit's due. I was gassing
aside
them up.
from giving us the perfect views of skins, but they've been catching all of the action at the same time. Showstopper is available for Yassine. Will he be added to the dreaded miss list? Or is he going to do something with it? Angel has some smokes to work with just to try and escape if he has to. Yassine pops the showstopper. There's another one to the list, but at least he's done a little bit of damage. Paint shells might be able to clean up. They don't, but Safe can get the spray down through the wall. Melonhead follows up with one onto Artist. And PartyParrots down to just 2, and Bonk starting to tear through them now. But they've forgotten the spike.
Again.
They really don't like it, do they? They just like leaving it behind.
I don't get it. You could imagine it happening in 1 round, but maybe this is just ultra safe play. They don't want anybody to die with the spike in a weird spot, so they leave it all the way in the spot. I'm trying to justify it, Dan. Help me out here.
I mean, it's worked out for them. Like, it's going to be 2 rounds in a row they're going to win and be successful, so I guess we can't be too annoyed about it, but at the same time, they could have probably won this round about 20, 30 seconds earlier if they had just brought the spike with them. But they also like to play without a Sage, so maybe they just like to do things a little bit differently here on the side of Bonk.
Yeah, I was waiting to bring it up again. We're seeing them around. We saw the same thing earlier on, and again on split, I definitely think it was a factor. But I mean, how do you feel, Dan, on Bind? Obviously, she's great for holding down B site. Again, really, really good and versatile in terms of she can play both sites and be just as impactful. But why don't Bonk like Sage?
Maybe there's just not a player on the Bonk squad who wants to play Sage, and that's always going to be a factor, and I say it for any new players that want to jump into matchmaking as well. Don't feel like you are forced to play a Brimstone or a Sage when the rest of the team are demanding you do so. Just find an agent you're comfortable with, and you would rather have someone who's going to frag out as a Sova than someone who's going to really struggle playing a Sage. You'd imagine that everyone on the roster of Bonk could play Sage, though, and if you are so desperately in need of a Sage, maybe you would pick someone up who can play Sage instead. But I don't know, maybe they've just had so much success without one, they don't feel like they need them. I know when Ascent came out, there was a lot of teams that were trying and testing without Sage, and questions were asked whether she would be forced out of the kind of composition meta. Bonk just sticking to what they're comfortable with, I'm sure, and they have a 3-1 lead at the moment. PartyParrots have a couple of guns to work with defensively here. What can they do with them, though? Angel is going to be one of those with a Vandal. Knows there are players in Hookah, but he can't beat Yassine on the Phantom. Artist gets taken down. He had done a little bit of damage and managed to slow. The spike still back by Spawn. So back they go to retrieve that one, and then they can reconsider as to where they're pushed. I mean, like... So let's actually discuss the thought process of leaving the spike behind, right? Because we see it so often in matchmaking, and it makes sense. You don't want to give the spike away and allow your opposition to have that information so that they can then take advantage of it. But at the same time, are you wasting time by having to go back and pick up that spike?
I mean, all it takes is somebody to come and flank and spot that spike in spawn. And again, it's usually one player going back for it, right? So if that one player dies... Whilst, you know, there's 3, maybe 4 people holding down the site and waiting for him to bring it all the way back, it is a factor to consider. And I guess until we see it, maybe we can't. Oh, that's a fantastic lineup. The Dink's only finding one off it. Team will fall, double smoke on site. Ziz will find Shao outside showers. And Bonk will find Dinks. But I mean, that's the only scenario where they get punished for it, right? Dan, somebody goes on a long flank, you know, to rotate when they know the execute on B comes out, and they're walking through spawn, and they're like, wait, the spike's here, guys. Like, hold up a sec.
Yeah, it's certainly risky, but at the moment, I guess it's... I mean, I say it's paid off, but it's not really like they've been in a position where they've been vulnerable because of it anyway. They've had the time to go back and get the spike each time. I don't really see the risk and reward from it personally, but either way, it's worked out for them. Safe takes down SSK, and we see the marvelous animation of the new Flame skins. 4-1 to Bonk, and they continue to march on through. And we did see PartyParrots already struggle on Bind today. And maybe more of the same here if they're not careful.
And, I mean, right now, it doesn't really look like they've got a response for what Bonk are doing. And I can't say that it's really anything... There's nothing really special going down. They're not really going for a full execute. They're just finding kills here, Dan. And then slowly making their way onto site. It's not really on the back of, you know, really quickly executed utility usage or anything like that. Again, they've got a couple of times they've got entries on hookah and then kind of abused the fact that Artist has been there solo. I'm going to see 3 stacked up towards market now. So maybe going to see someone come over towards A site. Owl Drone headed in, chasing Dinks into lamps. He's going to force all the way back onto the steps there. And now you're going to see the push come past the teleporter. Dink's going to find Melonhead with the frenzy. He's going to find a second, actually. Safe will finally put him down, but the work's been done already. He's stopped the push so far, but Spike has made it all the way into lamps here. Safe needs to be careful. If he loses the Spike in here, as I say that, SSK will find him.
Safe goes down. 2 players remaining on the side of Bonk. This is a sneaky little place for Shao as well. Bonk on the other side of the wall. He has to check all these angles. There is a flank, though, of course. You can see the Rays just transitioning from B to A, but there is a player watching. I think Bonk might have spotted that Shao's here. Is he going to get the peek? Oh, he can. Shao dominating him with the Sheriff. And then here comes Yassine walking straight into Artist, and a great little round for PartyParrots. They get themselves back into things on Bind, and even with a relatively weak bite, they still got the job done.
Yeah, and that's a good turnaround for, you know, ending their streak, so to say. Going to put a bit more pressure on the economy, and they've got a second round on the board. So a win all round. Dink's now going to invest in the operator. They do have the revive and the neural theft up, but on the other side, the only ultimate we don't have is the showstopper, and you've seen he's halfway there. So maybe going to see a couple of ultimates popped here. Let's see if we can get an execute together for Bonk, because like I said, they're not really, they're just kind of pressuring different parts of the map and finding kills, Dan. And oh, this is a terrible read there from Shao. He didn't spot the second. He got the one tag. Yassine came in and just countered that by peeking off it. Neural Theft going to get popped here. Safe will find Angel as well, and that's 2 down for Parrots. SSK is going to respond, but the early advantage going over to Bonk yet again.
Yassine just blast backs his way over truck. Artist gets the res onto Angel to try and even the playing field here.
Spikes in spawn. Spikes in spawn.
Well, yep, there goes Safe back to pick up the spike. And that's going to allow PartyParrots to rotate to A here. This is not what you want. This bomb could have already been down for 10 seconds already. Angel gets 2. Bonk and Yassine both fall. Finally, the spike is planted, but is it just a little bit too late? Safe gets a little bit of recon done with the Sova Dart. And there's 4 players on site. Orbital Strike's not going to connect with anyone thus far. Artist walks straight into the bullets of Safe. Can he get anything going round? He can. It's going to be a 3k for him. Can he make it 4? Does connect with the 4th, and he goes for the ace now, looks towards heaven, and this could be an absolute clutch from Safe. I mean, he's already done the damage at this point. Cypher has to push out of heaven to try and do something, but it looks like he is just going to retreat and try and save here. So even though it was looking pretty detrimental with the spike being on spawn, Safe went all the way back, picked up the spike, and then got a 4k.
Yeah, we did see him come up huge earlier in that clutch on Haven. Safe, definitely not a player we've seen disappoint today. It's going to be round 5 going over to Bonk. Now again, Parrots, I guess they're going to spend up everything again here now. And
Nice.
again, this is wait, which bit?
Oh, them getting the spike this time.
Oh, okay. So,
Sorry.
no, it's
Just
fine.
wanted to have a quick chat about spikes, you know.
The funniest thing is, if Moses isn't unmuted for the broadcast, I mean, it just sounds like we're mental and that we're talking to ourselves.
I'm hoping that is the case, actually.
Sorry, what did you say? Voice in my head.
We just sound crazy, but... Alright, Bonk with a 5-2 lead. You're seen pushing in, but unfortunately pushes right into the bullets of Artist, and now Angel can follow this one up and get aggressive. Aldrone has spotted another player onto the B site. Just the 4 members remaining of Bonk, and I think they'll be pretty happy with 5 rounds so far. PartyParrots really struggling to string rounds together as Melonhead will take down Angel, and I think that is a huge frag, as Angel really has been a thorn in the side of Bonk. Getting those opening frags time and time again. More recon coming through to the B site, but shot straight out of the sky. Artist does have the wall. Can put that barrier up if he chooses to, but he's reluctant to do so at the moment, just in case they're not actually committing to this B site.
Spike still down deep in market safe. Again on the walk of shame. He's going to bring it up now towards Hookah. Does have a teammate in there. Melonhead is still ready to push out here. They do still only know about 1 on B site here, and obviously that's on the back of the Aldrone tagging Artist, and now you're going to see the rotation come over towards A site. Wall does go down here. Showstopper pops, and actually not going to get another kill. 18 HP left on Ziz. Stim Beacon going to get dropped. Boombot going to come out, give the information over. Doesn't want to peek it though, but elsewhere Dinks is going to find Safe over towards A site, and that's going to be the signal for them to rotate now. Dinks finds a second. Melonhead actually going to drop it. Shao pushes into the cage. He's going to shut down Bonker, and there you go. Time's going to run out. And Ziz forced all the way back to spawn.
And see, this is the problem with kind of leaving the spike behind and leaving things late, is that if you do second guess yourselves and decide that you're going to push to a different site, they just didn't leave themselves with enough time there, Bonk. They had to just force the plant, but there was 2 players already on A. They hadn't rotated. And because of that, PartyParrots were able to just aggressively peek and say, look, we're going to make sure we just deny the plant, and then we win the round. So we need to see better, I think, from Bonk. And someone needs to be the responsible one for the spike, I feel.
I mean, again, though, there didn't seem like there was a plan. They looked to pressure Hooker a little bit, and then they had, like, this half-assed rotation back to A site, and they just got punished in like, a 2v3 situation where they didn't have the last team member there to play off another trade where you've got an advantage. I feel like if they're going to rotate like that, they just need to overwhelm the 2 players that stay back on A site.
Yassine comes in after getting a first, has Showstopper, is going to be able to blast over the wall, doesn't see the player, there, finally gets him. At least that he's connected with it. That could have been a little bit difficult to watch otherwise. Shao gets one onto Safe with the Hunter's Fury, and it's a 3 versus 3. Onkar will at least get the spike down at this point. At least better than they did in the previous round. Melonhead is being able to watch this defensive door as well with the op, gets a second. And now it's just going to be the one remaining Cypher. Dinks rotating away from the spike and just opting to save the op, which is pretty much the smart decision at this point. Question for you, hypoc. How many rounds would PartyParrots be happy with defending here on Bind?
I mean, they're definitely not happy with 3. That's for sure. This is, again, the way we saw Bind go earlier on. Again, shout out to the observers there, catching one of the fallen dragons somewhere on the map. But, I mean, you've got to operate on the basis that, you know, if you can get 4 rounds on either side and win the pistol on the next, you know, you've got yourself back in with a fighting chance. If you end with 4, you win the pistol, that should be 6 on the board, right? Again, you're not leaving yourself at too much of a deficit. But, I mean, for the way Parrots played earlier, I kind of feel like they need an extra 2 or 3 on top of that just to make it realistic, because we did see them fall apart, Dan.
Something I want to bring up, just while we get a little bit of a lull, is maybe some research, some market research we can all do. If there is any correlation between gifting Elder Flame skins to your teammates in solo queue and their performance in the following rounds. Buck20 tweeted that out the other day. just gifting them, just in solo queue, just saying, hey, look, here's a little Elder Flame skin for you, buddy. Little gold player. And see whether he performs a little bit better. Now he's got a better skin.
Little other gold player, you mean?
I mean, I'm actually a diamond. Thank you very much. How dare you even suggest that I'm a gold player, Moses? I'm personally offended, but...
Ask Moses what his rank is.
No, I don't want to put him on blast.
Dude,
like
I'm iron, dude. I'm out here. I'm like the chair on Game of Thrones. I'm the most iron thing you can be.
That's why he's so prominent in chat. We can ignore it, Dan. It's fine.
Still makes me laugh if Moses isn't going out on broadcast as well. Melonhead is going to be pushing up, does have the op in hand. And I did say before the series, is he going to be one of the influential players being the main op on Bonk's side? Trying to see if anyone was in cubby, but no one pokes out. And it's just going to be 3 players on this B site and all taking very defensive angles.
Oh,
maybe
shock dart though,
because they have to, but SSK does have paint shells to work with, but needs to throw them sooner rather than later, otherwise he's going to get caught out. Artis goes down to Melonhead's op. SSK will get the trade onto Safe, and Angel follows through on Ziz as well. They've done well here in doing damage, and, well, they could lose the spike here. The spike's still in mid. Shao connects with the shots onto Yassine in middle as well, and it's just going to be a little bit too late here, surely. They pick up the spike, but there's only 7 seconds remaining. And I mean, I'm baffled. I'm gonna be completely honest. They've got 6 rounds, Bonk, right? And they look good, but I feel like it could be 7. It could be... Well, I mean, this is the thing. Yes, they do look good, except they just aren't picking up the spike.
I mean, I'm still looking at these rounds. It's like there's no real kind of direction coming out of these. We haven't seen an execute come onto a site yet. But
they're still winning 6-4.
Yeah, I mean, that's on the back of Parrots doing what they do on Bind, I guess. But it doesn't feel like there's a really decisive kind of action coming out of Bonk. And again, you know, hats off to them. If that's their play style, go for it. But that's what, the 3rd time we've seen the clock run out now?
Certainly could have been a lot better from Bonk. They could easily have 9 here, if I'm completely honest. Yassine almost walks straight into the op there, but he does survive. Safe not able to connect with anything, but Melonhead at least will take down Dinks with the op. And maybe Melonhead says, look, I've had enough of this. Look, can someone pick up this bloody spike? The op player grabbing it, and now he'll join the rest of the team, who are starting to look like they're heading towards Hookah.
But again, here, Dan, pick onto B. Artis was alone for 20 seconds there. Spike was back in market. They had to come back, and now they're looking to re-entry onto B site. It doesn't make sense to me. Again, one player now has rotated over, but we do have the Sova coming back over to back up Artis. Rolling Thunder going to come through. Here you go. Now we've got an execute. The Showstopper comes out. Ziz is going to find Artis. Angel's actually going to pop the orbital strike into Hookah, and this is much better now. 30 seconds left on the clock, and the spike will actually go down.
Yeah, spike not left somewhere else with this amount of time. They've been able to find their way onto site, but Angel's been able to pick up the first. Safe takes down Shout. It's going to be down to Angel and SSK to try and do something. SSK getting 1, but Ziz responds, and now Angel is just going to opt to get out of dodge here, save this weapon going into the final round of the half. And you're right, that was better from
that
was more of an execute.
Yes, that looked much, much better.
But again, it took them a little bit of time to coordinate. And I mean, I don't want to say they look puggy, because actually even I've seen pug teams perform better in terms of their executes, but it almost just looks like they want to out-frag PartyParrots and say, look, we want to take the gunfights, and we're not going to be thinking too much of how we're going to work our way onto sites. Instead, we're just going to get kills by slowly peeking and wide peeking in the right angles. And it's worked to an extent. They're 7-4 up, and potentially could end this half 8-4 up. And considering what we saw earlier from PartyParrots attacking on Bind, I don't have much faith in their ability to come back into this game, because Bind isn't their map. We know that. It's evident.
I guess the point I'm making, if Bonk were to try this again, Fabricant, another team that we saw absolutely shine on Bind, I don't think this playstyle would be working. I really, really don't. I think this is more down to Parrots maybe not being able to hold defense side, and again, not to chime on, but we saw it earlier, right? That's a great read from Artis. Just literally pre-aim in the recon bolt. Aldron going to go out, catch him. Okay. Catch a tag. Dinks will fall here. Now,
And the
Spike's
spike
in spawn.
element.
I
This is the
don't
thing,
know.
they get the pick, and so many teams there would get the pick, and they would just roll through B site now. And they've got B site, it's acquired, there's one player in
Who's
Puka.
gonna get the spike? Look at it.
Yeah, they're playing deathmatch at this point. They're winning rounds by just eliminating the other team rather than thinking about the plan. And still no one on the side of Bonk is
Nobody
to pick up the spike. It's crazy, but I mean, it's working for them. They're 7-4 up, about to be 8-4 up as Safe takes down Artist as well. And it is just a deathmatch. They don't even care about planting the spike. 8-4 up now are Bonk, and we'll see whether PartyParrots can rescue this on their attack inside. And I guess the question from me to you, hypoc, would be, from what we've seen today from all of the teams in Group B, do you realistically see anyone challenging G2 outside of only Fabrican, who also qualified out of Group A as well?
No, I don't. I mean, Prodigy have looked good today, and I think that will probably be the closest matchup between one of our teams from Group B facing G2. But I mean, there seems to be a huge issue here for some of our Group B teams on Bind. I'm hoping we don't see a lot of it throughout the playoff stages, but obviously this one is the elimination factor. I mean, let's see if Parrots can turn it around.
Well, they're going to need to dig deep and find something very different from what we saw earlier from them in their attacking performance. Melonhead gets the opening run to Angel. Bonka will also get the second, and Yassine finds the third. So just like that, PartyParrots lose 3 members of their team in this pistol round, very much going in favor of Bonk. Shao, the last remaining player and the last hope of pulling a 1v5 clutch. At least he started it well. Only has the classic to work with. I mean, if he had a ghost, I'd say it's doable, but the classic always riles me up. I don't know how people were able to hit any shots with it, but they have spike control. Bonk, this is the closest they've been to the spike in quite some time, if I'm completely honest. It's almost like they're keeping more eyes on it than they did in the previous half. I was just hoping that someone's going to be rotating and hoping to catch someone off guard to try and make this 1 versus 4 instead of a more comfortable 1 versus 3. Could catch Bonker off guard here, but he's going to be walking into a crossfire. There's no way he survives this. If he does, it would be pretty embarrassing. There's the peak from Safe, 9-4. And with that pistol round, do you feel like this is game over? Because I kind of feel like it is.
I do, yeah. Again, this is going to go 10-4 first buy round. If Parrots continue looking the way they have, you can't help but think, even if they just hold on some of the Spectres on the side of Bonk, that they're going to run away with this one now. And again, when you're on 4 rounds, to have your enemy team get the momentum of the pistol round on the second half, it's just so hard to claw your way back from this.
PartyParrots, they're all heading B long. And look at that for a dart. Safe will send his owl drone through the teleport to see if anyone's B short, but nothing there. As everyone is going to be bombarding this B site now. Bonker is going to get that information with his camera. Gets a couple of tags. He sees they're all heading into elbow. And he could have fun with a bit of a spray down here if he does opt to push, but they've backed up onto the site. No one planting just yet. Angel with the ghost just trying to scout, but with the smoke up, Bonk aren't showing because they don't really need to. The spike's not gone down. No. Melonhead will get the first onto Artist, and then they can look for more. Yassine gets the second, and Bonk are the third, and it is just a massacre at this point. I think they knew that was a possibility, did PartyParrots, but they didn't really try and do anything. 3 of them went elbow, and then they didn't continue that run after they'd been spotted by the Cypher, and they just ended up being sitting ducks on the site.
Again, shout out to the production. They're getting a bit creative now. Now that we've got a good opportunity to show off some of this. They caught pretty much every single kill from the free cam there up on the side of site. So shout out to the guys running the camera today. 10-4 now. And this is the moment. This is where they need to turn something around. If they want to come back on this map, this is the round they need to start that from.
Yeah, this is their do or die round, realistically. Lose this, they probably find themselves 12-4 down. Just seeing if he can spot anything pushing to the A site, but it's going to be a slow, methodical strategy from PartyParrots. waiting to see if anyone from Bonk was going to get aggressive because of their economy and because they still had the SMGs from the previous round. Sky Smoke's available from Ziz just to try and hold back the boys of PartyParrots from pushing. What is in the playbook? That's going to be the real question for PartyParrots. Like, someone needs to step up at this point. The IGL needs to say, look, this is the clear picture of what we're doing. This is the plan. Are they going to go for a default execute here? Shower's going to be able to pop out the recon dart. But they are incined off at the moment, so they have been delayed, and the rotate can come through from the side of Bonk. They're all heading towards A. It's going to be about these initial frags. Can Ziz pick up anything? He has to back off as well as Safe. They're all kind of stuck in lamps at the moment, but Bonker and Safe do some real damage. SSK will at least respond, and now he can have some fun here in lamps. He's got all the explosives, but the stim beacon's down, which means the kills can come through, and PartyParrots are down to just one, and it's going to be all on Dinks here in Showers. Can he win this 1 versus 2? No, he can't. And Bonk have done it again. And in a round where they didn't have the weaponry, they didn't have the rifles, they've made this 11-4.
Yeah, and like you said, you got to assume this is going to be 12-4 now. Again, if they opt to force up and try and hold Bonk on 11 rounds, which it looks like they're going to do, 2 Vandals popping up early on, light armors across the board. Looks like they're going to try and mount the comeback now. And this is, as again, you said it in the previous round, this is do or die as well, because they are flat out broke after this. Down to 100 credits apiece. And, I mean, that was kind of just stopped in its tracks there from the incendiary from Ziz, to be honest with you. They didn't have an answer to that. Nobody opting to jump through. The barrier did go down on mid-site, but they still couldn't. They couldn't take control of the post plant. And the play into lamps, I think, was where things fell apart.
And I wonder whether in those situations it's worth just kind of pushing through the instant. I know it does so much damage so quickly, but you can get through it. And they might be able to get the spike down and had a better chance of trying to position themselves accordingly for post plants. Dink does spot out the opposition side, but Bonk, he can't get anything done. So at least Dinks has done his job, and Bonk down to just 4. PartyParrots, can they get onto this B site? This looks a little bit better. B split. And then they're getting the first. Shao responds with one of his own, with the Vandal. The ult comes out, but no one going to be affected by it too much. Big flash coming out, and Artist completely blind. Safe will find his first onto SSK. Now has shock darts to work with as well. 3 versus 3. Spike in one hand, but here comes Yassine from behind. And Safe, he takes that cue and says, all right, buddy, well, they're going to be looking at you, so here we come. And 12-4, and surely that's the game now for for Bonk against PartyParrots. They're going to have no money and surely no hope.
No, absolutely love that. The aftershock coming through from elbow to deny the plant on default. Heads up utility usage from Melonhead there. And again, it just bought enough time for Yassine to pull off that flank from long as well. Really, really well-timed retake there. But, I mean, you can see the difference again. An unsuccessful round for Parrots there, but as soon as they get the pick on B, they act on it. And again, it was a good hold ultimately. But you can see the difference in playstyle there, Dan.
Very much so. I think this is just a bit of a formality at this point. Bonk with 12 rounds on the board, and they have just looked the better side, the more comfortable side, even though there was questions about how they were playing. They have still got the job done. Double flash comes out from Melonhead, and that allowed Ziz and Yassine to just run a riot through them, and just like that, they all fall like flies. And 13-4 to Bonk. An absolute blasting